Good evening and welcome to Jazz After Dark, special Jazz After Dark tonight, because I have for you a beautiful drink. And I am so excited to be joining you with this. This is called a Millionaire. And it was about 10 years ago. I don't know if this is like still a drink or whatever, but about 10 years ago, we used to go to this sort of fancy restaurant. Not really fancy, but for our area, it was fancy. And they had this drink, and then they took it away, and I protested. I lost, but I protested. And this is a phenomenal drink, and it's just made in the shaker, so it's ice crystally cold at the moment. Oh, God, it's so good. It has so apricot brandy, sloe gin, and the trick really is you got to use Diplomatico rum in there with some lime juice. Oh, if you don't think millionaire or of that status while you're drinking that, there's something wrong with you. Just shut it off now. You might as well not even pay attention. I love it. Well, welcome to Jazz After Dark. Obviously, super excited about this. And it is officially 12:37 at night. So there'll just be one of these. But I wanted to review here tonight on a special jazzy night. That's a poor excuse for a lime, by the way. Happiness. I wanted to go over some common questions that we get. And it's going to be revolving around IRAs, Roth IRAs. We're going to start with somewhat basic, and we're going to get into the weeds here a little bit with some detailed stuff as we like to do. Question number one, and you can just break these up into little pieces if you want to share them with your friends or whatever. Can I even contribute to an IRA or a Roth IRA? The simple answer is yes, provided that you have earned income, wages, salary, tips, etc. Disability, Social Security, things like that do not count as earned income. If you make too much money, then you can't actually contribute to a Roth, but good problem to have. Second question, can I contribute to an IRA or a Roth for my spouse, but my spouse doesn't actually work? Answer, yes. If your spouse, if you guys are married filing jointly, you can contribute up to the max for them in their whatever you decide to do on behalf of your spouse, even if they have no earned income. Married filing jointly, your income is her income, and or his income. You know what I mean? You're sharing income, so it doesn't matter there. Question number three is really inevitable when you start going down the pipeline here. When I make a contribution to a traditional IRA, is it tax deductible? And yeah, there's some tricks here, but it is tax deductible provided that you nor your spouse are eligible for 401k plans at work. Contributing to them is not the answer. If you have access to them, then we have to go down that route there. But basically, if you don't have workplace plans, then yes, you will get a tax deduction. If you do have workplace plans or your spouse does and your income is higher based on who has the 401k plan, then you start getting into phase outs where no, not all of it is deductible. Number four, this is an actual question. I'm not making this stuff up. We literally have thousands of clients all over the country. And all I did is I went into everybody's inbox here and I started plucking out questions that had the term IRA or Roth IRA in them. So this one is an actual question. Can I make an IRA? And I'll say, can I make an IRA or Roth IRA contribution, just to make it more general, for a spouse if they just died? Like maybe they died in March or something, and I'd still like to make a contribution for them. Can I do that? That's I've gotten that question at least 4 times. I can guarantee that. And the answer is no. Although when you break down how this is tracked, I don't know that they would catch up to you for a while. The answer is no, don't do it. Because if you're dead, then you have no reason for a retirement account. Therefore, a contribution would be off limits, even if you're married. So I've had to answer that one pretty much that way. And I have gotten that question before. Okay, so the next one's wraparound conversions. Hey, can I convert my IRA money into a Roth IRA, or can I convert my 401k money into a Roth 401k? And the answer there is yes. For IRAs, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, 401ks, you can convert that money to a Roth. It's a taxable transaction. The one what would I say? The little twist there is that if you have a simple IRA, you do have to have it for the 2 years, and then you're eligible to do things like that. The other plans, it doesn't matter. Yes, you can convert to a Roth IRA. It's taxable. Okay. Now we're getting into some of the slightly more complicated ones. When can I take money out of my Roth IRA and not have to pay penalties and taxes, right? If that applied. This is coming up a lot lately. So I'm going to take a second on this one. This is coming up a lot because you see me getting a little bit more pessimistic out there in the world about how the economy's going. I don't just wake up angry one day and decide to do that. I see more and more clients going, I'm short $2,000. Dustin, I'm down $5,000. I had a medical expense. I had a sudden reason to draw down my emergency fund about 2 months ago. And wouldn't you know it, I need a little extra money, not for an emergency. I see that the dollars are getting sucked out of your pocket and going to necessities. Therefore, it's taking a while. You're not bad. It's taking a while for us to get used to spending this much to survive to now spending this much to survive. Put the fun stuff aside, the bad, poor decisions and all that great stuff. It takes a little bit more. But we haven't caught up in our budgets yet, right? And I'm a culprit of this too, because I have a really old school budget. I love using my little spreadsheet, super simple, and it's all linked to everything. I love it. However, I realize that I haven't adjusted that to the new cost of things. The groceries that we spend money on, our monthly gas bill, which I overestimate that, but nonetheless, it's what it is. And so I see that happening. And more people are saying, I need some money. I need to take some money out. And we have a lot of Roth IRA clients. So I have to answer this question a lot. The question is, can I take money out of my Roth IRA when, and if I do that, will I pay taxes or penalties? This breaks down in a couple different parts here. Yes, you can take out whatever you've put in at any point in time. If you touch the growth, you're in a bit of trouble there, tax or penalty-wise and tax-wise. So if you put $1 in today and the lightning strikes tomorrow and you have a bad financial problem, you can take that dollar back out a second later, a minute later, the next day, 5 days, 10 days, a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever. We get trapped on that 5-year rule. For most of you, just don't even bother thinking about it. You put $1 in, you are allowed to take that dollar out with no penalty and no tax. All right. What else did I forget? Oh, I copied this one. Dustin, I would like to name a trust as the beneficiary. This is usually someone that's done a little homework to my IRA or Roth, right? So they're not asking in this case. This one that I have is saying, I would like to name a trust that I've just set up, presumably, as a beneficiary to my IRA. Can I do that? The answer is it's allowed. Yes, you could do that. Please understand what you're doing when you open a trust and list the trust as your beneficiary. Weigh the tax differences. Does this even make sense for you to do this? And under no circumstance do you ever take the IRA, if you were even able to do this, re-register it in the name of the trust, or take the stuff out of your IRA, your stocks and whatever you have in there, and put it in the trust. All of that's a taxable event immediately. There's one going back. It's very difficult, but it's all taxable. So yes, you can name the trust as the beneficiary, but that's as far as you go. And I would urge you to consider the differences between just not having the trust. So that one comes up quite a bit. Okay. Sadly, this one happens. Dustin, my spouse died, and they took some of their RMD, but do I have to take the rest of it? Who's that going to, right? How's that going to work out? If there's someone that has an IRA and they were of an age where they were taking RMDs, so for the most part, if they passed away, they were probably under that 70 and a half rule from before 2020. And let's say they needed to take out $10,000 in RMDs. They took out 5. We're planning to take the rest out at the end of the year, but they passed away. That 5 has to go to you. You got to take it out. Now, let me stop here for a second. That's the normal rule. Remember last night in our class there, the whole RMD mess that's caused by the IRS and started with the government, so I won't even blame the IRS. The answer is yes, you have to take the remaining RMD. The beneficiary has to take the remaining RMD. Unless it's this year. That's just what it is. Okay. So if you need more help on that, the class we did last night should help you out. Okay, let's move on here. Oh, okay. Dustin, I forgot to take the required minimum distribution. And in this case, they're blaming it on the company that they work for. They did not process this required minimum distribution on time. What do I do now? Okay. Generally, there is a 50% penalty. However, that's gone. Now it's 25 or possibly 10. And that's not me being vague. That's the IRS's words. It's 25% or possibly 10. We're working on this. I don't know what the IRS is thinking. So if you don't take your RMD on time, there's a penalty. I'm not even going to play games with them. So there's a penalty. You can have the penalty waived. And if you let me help, in literally every case, no one has paid that penalty. None of my clients paid the penalty. Now that's the general answer. And if you're unfamiliar and you want to try to do this yourself, if you forget to take the RMD, you would do form 5329, and then you would write a letter and tell them why you didn't take it, and be honest, but be nice about it. However, in 2023, if you forget to take the RMD, for some reason it doesn't matter. They're going to waive it. Their words, not mine. All right, last couple of them here. Do I have to take my required minimum distribution for each account that I have? This is a little bit more tricky. So let's say you have an IRA, you have an old rollover for IRA, you've got a Roth IRA, old 401k, a TSP. You got these things, and you're like, wait a minute, do I have to take it from each one of them? Well, most people do. They'll break it up and take it appropriately because the math is calculated automatically. You've probably been presented with the minimum that is required to take out. However, it is not required. This is a sticking point for me. If you have an IRA and a rollover IRA or something, you just never combine them, and you chose to invest one in something fun and one something conservative. The total balance is what the IRS is concerned about. It's just your pre-tax dollars in those accounts. They don't care if there's 50 accounts that are there, okay? So if you happen to come across a year where you're invested in, like, say, NVIDIA or something, right? You're like, I don't want to sell it. I like it. It's going well. Over here, you've got some bonds or whatever. You're just not happy with this. You bought Dollar Tree, let's say, and it's having a horrible year and you just want a reason to get out. Take the full RMD from potentially that one, or if you want to take profits on NVIDIA, take the full RMD for everything from that. So you can play some games there. Generally, most people just say, I'm supposed to take 2250 from this one, 100 from this one, whatever it is. So you could do that. All right, lastly, and I get this one a lot, thanks to the old social medias out there, which cheers to all the people that give advice before they know what in the world actually is supposed to happen. So, yeah, pour one out for them. Hey, Dustin, watch this cool thing on the social media, and then guess what? My algorithm thought that I was interested in that, so they started showing me more and more of this stuff that wasn't very accurate. Common. All right, the last question is going to be, can I put other things in my IRA besides stocks, bonds, penny stocks, all the fun garbage you guys play with, right? Can I do that? The answer is yes. Most financial advisors won't tell you this because they don't participate in this. We don't either, but whatever. It is a possibility. Big warning, I got to watch out for this. Here's the question that I got after this person found out that they can put other stuff in their IRA. Dustin, can I put my house, a potential vacation home, a rental condo for my child while they go to college, when they go to college, maybe a future retirement home, and other stuff in my IRA or Roth? In other words, can that be the owner of this property besides just being in the stock market? So the answer is yes, you can put stuff in there, but you can't do what's called self-dealing. You cannot participate in that thing. right? So you can invest in a business. You can go down the street and there's maybe a computer shop and or whatever, and you want to invest your IRA in some of that computer shop. Fine, so long as you are not the computer shop, right? You can't go buy a condo and when your child goes to college, rent it out to them and they make the payments to your IRA. You can buy a condo and rent it out to someone that's not a part of your family and they can pay you rent for that, but you can't self-deal. And it's, just how it works. The sad part is no one will stop you. No one really has any way of knowing. And I'm not joking. You could open up a self-directed IRA and you could go buy this condo next to a great university. Your kid could go move into it. The kid could make rent payments or somehow pay you back for this. That money could go into your IRA and nobody would have any idea that this happened, that you self-dealed, right? You could invest in the computer store, be the majority shareholder of the computer store, and have the computer store pay the IRA some profits, and no one would know, except the IRS, right? They're going to see that you did that, right? It's a very simple 2 and 2 get put together in their system, and they figure it right out. It's a lot like if you made a mistake on your taxes, right? Years ago, I made a mistake on my taxes where I said I was punching in the numbers and I missed a number, right? So instead of it being like 4,000 or 44,228, it was 4,000, 420, whatever. And honest mistake. I mean, I got them to waive the penalty because it truly was an honest mistake, and I have no history of doing this. But a big mistake because I put the smaller number and I didn't pay the tax. They figured this out like that because whatever the other form was, I forget what it was, maybe a 1099 or something. The numbers didn't match up, and their system just kicked it out, right? And I had to I'd come back and pay the tax. I got the penalty waived, but had to pay the tax. And so the IRS will put that together. It's a simple one to put together. So please, if you do a self-directed IRA, just be honest about it, right? If you're going to invest in a business or real estate or multifamily or whatever, don't put grandma in there, right? That's not the idea. Careful. But it is possible. Yeah, you certainly can do that. And it's quite popular, actually. All right. Well, that went well. So good. I love this. This is the millionaire again, and I'm going to go continue to enjoy that into the wee hours of the morning as I get ready for the next thing coming up for you guys. Appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. When do you watch these? Do you guys watch these like nighttime? You drinking with me?